to Cuckoos First Flight, a brand new podcast from a Big Punch Studios team in which we all sit down and collectively try to create and play an RPG at the same time.
Because we are nothing if not insane.
Ambitious.
Hands up who's DM'd before.
Me!
Are you DMing today?
No.
Grand. Right.
I did, however, write the few rules that we have. So
we are deferring to your greater knowledge here when it comes to...
I have a feeling Lucy's greater knowledge may always work in our advantage.
Yes, she's a player now. Yeah. She's one of us.
It's the collective knowledge. We all benefit. But hopefully, as the podcast artwork has given away, this is an RPG set in the world of Cuckoos, which takes place in the Extraverse, the space between universes and the space between stories. So anything can happen, anything is possible. And you will be assuming roles of crew members of an extraversal ship, shifting between universes and stories in search of trade, adventure, or maybe even a home.
Ooh.
So Lucy has completely turned the RPG business on its head and revolutionised it. And
I took out all the words.
We have a whole new system, don't we?
Gygax's turn.
Yes, it is based on a number of other RPG-style systems that I have read about and played. But it is in itself, the aim of the game was to create as rules-light an RPG system as possible. The rule book, in huge inverted commas that I have written, is 4 pages long.
I love it.
And everything else can be kind of made up as we go.
Yeah, I mean, we're being flexible here, and things don't have to be perfect because it's very much a work in progress. And
it's very much been born out of something we've all been talking about for a while, hasn't it? But I think in recent weeks, you, John, and Lucy sort of took it all and said, let's actually do this and let's turn this into something. So here we are.
Well, I basically had an idea for a story I wanted to run, but none of the technical know-how to make a system. So Lucy's done all the work, and I'm just going to reap all the glory, basically.
Yeah. It's the John Locke way.
Yeah, it really is.
Don't you forget it, Angel. You know your place. But yeah, I guess we were thinking about starting this affair by creating some characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Lucy, do you want to talk us through some of the key stats that we're dealing with?
I will do my best. Well, as long-term readers of Cuckoos will probably not know, because I'm not sure we've ever stated it, the worlds of the Cuckoos run on 4 micro-elements that are in different levels in every universe they get to, and the levels of those micro-elements affect how that universe expresses itself. So, in terms of our stats for our characters, we have those 4 micro-elements: power, change, logic, and soul. Each of those micro-elements, as a major stat, feeds into 2 minor stats. So for power, we have strength and will. For change, we have dexterity and intelligence. For logic, we have strategy and knowledge. And for soul, we have charisma and inspiration. And these are the statistics that we will be filling with points to make people.
And those 8 statistics can be broken into both physical and mental.
Yes.
So we have 4 physical, which are strength, dexterity, strategy, and charisma, and 4 mental, which are will, intelligence, knowledge, and inspiration.
Indeed.
Is the idea.
This is the plan.
So what's your crazy dice notion?
Well, my notion here to reduce the amount of adding up that needs to be done, because we all love D&D here, but there's a lot of numbers
so much
and
math.
so much adding up. Basically, every stat point that you put into one of these statistics will give you a dice that you can roll. So if you have a strength of 3, anytime you need to do a strength check, you roll 3 dice. Now, as our podcasty people will not be able to see, but everyone else can, I have modified some D6s here so that they only have 0, 1, and 2 on them. So basically, if you have a stat point of 3, your maximum score for that check will be 6.
I can do that sort of math.
Yes. See, basically, the most complicated thing you have to do here is times by 2.
Okay. I think that's just within my wheelhouse.
So we will all start with 20 points, which we can divide up amongst the major stats and then divide that further down into the minor stats.
I see.
You always have to have at least 2 points in any major stat and at least 1 point in any minor stat. So you can't not ever throw a dice, basically.
I see. Cool. Yeah.
Once we've done that, you can start picking exciting things like your race or your class and your job on the ship, and then those will add extra modifiers to it, changing exactly how many dice you can throw in different situations.
Brilliant. Okay. That sounds straightforward enough.
So yeah, that was the idea. Basically, you should be able to create a character in a few minutes rather than a few hours, as it tends to be for things like Eclipse Phase and D&D.
It's like it was a whole first session,
Yeah.
wasn't it, in D&D, like just creating your character. Okay, cool. So how should we do this?
Well, I mean,
we
I
go
know
around?
the two of you already have characters in mind that you want to build, so that would probably be the easiest place to start.
Okay,
So yeah, so why don't we go with you first, Nick?
I'm happy to go first.
Yeah.
Okay, well, shall I do all of my dice
Sure.
bits first? So obviously I've got 20 points,
20 points.
so I can decide how to allocate those.
Yeah, and then you start by allocating them in the major micro
see.
Do you
element
want to
stats.
start by telling us who you are and what race and job you have before you start allocating?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason you can't do it backwards. Like, you can't
Yeah.
decide who you want to be and then make your stats work for you.
Yeah, well, I guess then I have a starting point, don't
Yeah.
I? Well,
Yeah.
so my idea is a character who I want to call Capella, who is a Melodian genie user. Right,
Okay.
so for those...
You've already mucked up my rules because
know.
those two things were races in
They
my
were separate races, I know, yeah. But we sort of had a post-discussion about this, didn't we? We sort of discussed that. So basically, for those who don't know, these are two terms that we use in our comics. Melodian means anything from my universe of 7 strings, so people who come from the Aryaverse, which is where you can make music and fight with it. Music is like magic in that universe. And a genie user is someone like Vatch in our comic Cuckoos, who is a fella who essentially takes a drug that allows him extreme levels of power, but only deployable in sort of 3 wishes or 3 bursts of energy. He can use them in any way he likes, but the instant he uses all 3 wishes, unless he takes more, he falls massively into withdrawal. So we sort of discussed that maybe a genie user was less of a race and more of a buff, kind of, or a class, if you will. So my race is Melodian through and through, called Capella because now, outside of the universe they're from, don't have any strength anymore. So Capella means without instrumental accompaniment. So she's changed her name, and she's going to be a she as well, by the way. So yeah, that's the thinking.
Okay.
So I want to have a lot of power, obviously, or will have a lot of power, but I'm guessing that the power is going to come from the genie usage.
Yes.
Well, yes, this is where it could be interesting because...
If I could interject
go ahead.
briefly here.
Hit me.
One thing, because I guess one of the benefits of getting a big source book from D&D is that it will have like 101 different spells or moves or abilities. Of
course.
I was thinking what we do here, and this is where some of the creative learning on the job will come in, is that you saying you're a genie user, I have a nice stack of blank cards.
I love blank cards.
For the benefit of the microphone, and I will be writing kind of powers and abilities down.
Brilliant.
So I think the beauty of Lucy's system is that the actual stats are quite simple, and that's really all you need. But I think like the flavour's going to come in with the abilities.
Sure.
So with your dude, for example, I'm already thinking that I'm going to write up 3 cards, and they're your wishes.
Right. Brilliant.
And it's more like we'll give them to you, and that's what you have in front of you.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
And if I may just... Melodians, as I wrote in the race section of this very small rulebook, automatically get an extra soul point.
Okay.
Every race gets a boost in something.
Right.
So that, I mean, if you are working backwards, that's something to consider.
Well, I was thinking that she would be quite charismatic. Like that would be the main thing that she has going for her, really. And that any value and worth to accrue comes from her addiction to lamps rather than her. So she's a bit. She's like fun, basically. She's going to be, and people like her.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
So maybe just to begin with, you should put a 1 in either your charisma or inspiration.
Sounds like a good idea. Do I need a pencil for this? I probably should.
You
have a
probably
pencil,
should,
shouldn't I?
yeah.
Oh, you got one there.
Yeah, there's a whole load.
I'll just grab this. So I'll put 1 in there. I mean, I could put 1 in both, really, couldn't I?
Well, that will... remember, you have 20 base points to start with.
Right.
So because you're a Melodian, you're
1.
automatically going to get an extra 1 in soul,
Oh, I see what you mean.
which you can then
Right, yeah.
put in either charisma or inspiration.
Yeah,
is the idea.
so before you get to the rolling up point, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess charisma will be kind of familiar to anyone who's played role-playing before.
Yeah.
That's charm and, how
Persuasion.
you interact with people on a human level. Inspiration is the wild stat. Inspiration is when all else has failed, it's the ace in the hole.
Luck / creativity / creative thinking /
It's the indefinable, basically.
yeah, so X factor, the je ne sais quoi.
Which makes
a
it really
certain
hard to
Jack
write a
Chirac.
rule about.
No, I like it, though. I like it because it's wild.
Okay, so I've got 20 points to allocate across these 4
Yes.
things. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to put something like 7 into soul.
Okay.
So that's going to make that a total of 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's plus my...
Are there any like limits here? You have to have at least one?
You have to have at least one in each minor stat, so at least 2 in each.
Yeah, okay, so you can't have 0 in a box.
No, you can't ever get into a situation where your character can't roll any dice, basically. Unless they're unconscious or something, we'll get to that.
I sort of imagine that, like, without this is a little bit like Vatch in Cuckoos as well. Without lamps, she's not physically strong at all.
Yeah.
I quite like that. So let's put 1 in there.
2, at least.
2. It has to be 2.
It has to be 2
Yeah,
so
'cause
that
you
you can
need
put
one,
1 in
one.
each one.
Oh, I'm with you. Right. Yes, this is actually really simple, Nick.
An even number.
Yeah.
I'm with you. This makes so much sense. Okay.
Use up half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because that was a +1.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
soul
yeah.
is
9.
Yeah.
I've used 9. So I quite like the idea of having quite a bit in change.
Okay, it doesn't have to be an even number. I just.
Oh god, no. No, it just has to be more than
Let's
more
put
than
5 in there. So that takes me up to 14. So that's 6 left. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. No. Let's go.
Oh, I didn't realise there'd be a maths test.
7 in there. 7, 8, 9 plus another 9 is 18. So that's 2 remaining. Put 2 in logic.
Okay.
Okay.
So then you can break those down.
That's 18 you've used.
This is where we need Ali. She can count to 20.
Yeah. How did I fuck that up?
You added
mean, screw
1
that
to
up.
8 rather than take 1 off 8.
Continuing your proud tradition of being the foulest person on the team.
Rub that off because that's confusing.
Okay.
This is why I originally had it that you would distribute the 20 first and then add
I see.
anything extra that you get.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of
We
sense.
should listen to Lucy more.
Let's put a remaining. Let's put 4 in there.
Okay. And then you divide those up, each one, so you have 2 points to divide between
So
strength and will.
I can only put
yeah,
one
you can
in
only
one,
put one in
like
each, right? 7 to go between dexterity and intelligence.
So let's go with 4 and 3.
Okay.
And then,
4 between strategy and knowledge.
so strategy is what you refer to as Batman.
Yeah,
I like
that was the best way I could think of describing it. It's how prepared you can be for a thing, and I almost had an idea that in gameplay it would almost work retrospectively, so when a thing happens, it's like, did I prepare for it? And you could do a strategy check to see whether you Batmaned it.
Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna go 3-1. I don't think I imagine I have a lot of general knowledge about the world, especially not the Extraverse, because I've lived in the Arrowverse all my life. So
And then soul, charisma and inspiration, 8
Right.
to split between them.
I like the idea of 5 and 3 on that one.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, and then you need to pick your job,
Okay.
which I'm guessing we're probably going for muscle.
Yes.
Because that's kind of the closest thing to if we're turning lamp user into a job, like.
Yeah, I think we're kind of
Yeah.
So yes, let's do that.
And so in that case, you get so any checks for kind of combat. You can add 1 to,
Okay, so combat.
and you can also boost
+1.
your strength or dexterity by 1.
Is that?
Yeah, like one of your stats, you can choose strength or dexterity and boost it by 1.
Oh, okay, cool. I will do that with dexterity then.
So dexterity is now up to 5.
Sorry, darling, is that just a standard genie kind of person?
Well, no,
lamp user
that's
thing?
for
Dexter.
muscle, because again, originally I wrote rules as a genie user was a separate race, so they had different stat
Oh,
boosts entirely.
so sorry, have you...
7.
Sorry, I may have missed a step there. You've already got to the point of assigning what role on the ship he's
Yes.
taking. I was thinking we might get the characters out of the way first, and then, because
Oh,
we
okay.
haven't even covered that yet to explain what's going on there.
Okay. Okay, so when you say combat +1,
Yeah.
do I add anything to?
No, I think whenever you're in a combat situation,
Right.
you
I
can
just get an
add
extra
1.
dice
Yeah.
to roll.
Yeah.
Die to roll.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's me then.
All right. Okay. Well, Ali, I know you also have a plan.
Well, I have the formings of a plan. So I would like to be a new kind of race, which I don't know if that brings any benefits with it. You know, the races we have sort of some stat boosts.
Yes, I mean, ideally, I think if we get this RPG to a proper, it is fully functional level, every possible race will have preset
Yeah.
stat boosts. I mean, we haven't done the life points and things yet either, which I wrote down. So I'd say you could probably pick one
Yeah, I mean,
and just adjust it.
I was thinking I'd quite like, if possible, to have a +1 to inspiration.
Okay.
But if I drink a cup of tea,
Oh, okay.
so I can't get inspired in the middle of a battle. But I want to get inspired in a quiet
Well,
moment.
how about then I'll write you up a card, which is a tea set.
Yeah.
And if you employ the tea set, you can take
I can
inspiration.
have a +1 on my
Okay.
inspiration.
Grand.
Okay.
Cool.
So I would like to be kind of sort of his Dark Materials-esque inspired, I would like to be from a cat universe where everyone has a familiar that is a cat.
Okay, sure.
Kind of like a demon part of your soul.
Yeah,
like,
and where it was sort of joined
Yeah.
in terms of souls, and it can't go too far away from me. So I'll have a little cat with me.
Okay, I'd maybe recommend that we start with using like the stats I worked out for Whisper Folk.
Okay,
Because they're pretty much standard humans.
cool.
So
Sounds
if
about
we
right.
start with that, and then we can add exciting things
Cool.
to it.
And that gives you a stat boost of +1 to change.
Yeah, so +1 to any change to
Perfect.
that when you work your stats.
I guess
But
we'll
yes,
do your stats first.
to
then.
start off with, you have 20 points.
20. Well, I was thinking that I would be very much within the change category.
Cool.
So I was thinking I'd be very good with dodging, movement, and thinking and problem solving,
Yeah.
but perhaps probably not particularly physical, but with a little bit of inspiration thrown in.
Okay.
So, so I'm going to put 10 into my change category.
Wow.
And I'm going to pop 5 in dexterity
Yeah.
and 5 in intelligence.
Cool.
I think my next one down probably would be...
well, if
yeah,
you want
let's
inspiration,
go-
it'd probably be the soul
Yeah,
next.
let's put 4 in soul,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put 2 in each of those. And then, so I've got 6 left. I'm going to put 2 in power, so I've got 1 in strength, 1 in will.
You're
and then
not
I'll
strong
put
either.
4 in logic, and I'll have... Let's have a look. So we've got strategy or knowledge. I'm going to go for 3 in knowledge and 1 in strategy.
Okay.
Still
And then-
around from me.
And if we're going for you're a normal human
Yep.
type thing, then you can get your +1 to change.
+1 for change.
So that's
I've
either
got-
going to be
Dexterity or
Yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah. So I'll pop it into intelligence. So I've got 6.
okay. And so that's where we pause it for the moment, dear. Yeah, is that a good pause for the? No, in terms of like you want to move on to jobs afterwards.
Yes, sorry, no, that's right. Yeah, no, let's just get the characters rolled up, then we can talk
Alright.
about extra perks.
So who are you, Lucy?
Well, I want to be an Atar, who are the people from the Extraversal that we see in the very first issue of Cuckoos. And I was a person who was living quite happily on one of the giant floating citadels of the Atar, and just sort of all fell apart, and I was executed, in inverted commas, thrown off the side of the citadel. But as luck would have it, I was picked up by a passing cuckoo trade ship before I starved, because you don't hit anything in the Extraversal.
Just fell for a while.
Yeah. And since then I've been travelling around in the Cuckoos world, but I don't like it very much. I don't like Cuckoos very much. It's very much something that's been forced on me. I can't really go home.
No.
So yeah, I'm sort of above all of you, really.
You're a bit
but
aloof.
My fate is kind of tied up with all of you, so I'm going to have to help, I suppose. So I'm going to
We
start
love you
off.
despite all that. Well, maybe anyway.
So I'm going to start off with. I think I probably like we said in the comics, the Atar are quite scholarly folk. So I'll probably go for quite a high knowledge, but they're also sort of slightly bigger
They
than
are
most. So
physically
I'd probably
imposing, 9
boost
foot
my
tall.
strength a little bit as well,
Yeah, they're quite physically striking, aren't they? Great big blue
with extra eyes.
with extra eyes, yeah.
Second set of eyes. Kind of like the Na'vi from Avatar, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to
They wear paper
start.
clothes.
I'm going to start with 8 in logic. So I'm very much going for kind of the knowledge thing. Then I don't think I'm probably all that charismatic, so I'm just going to put 2 in soul.
You're not going to make any friends.
No, nobody likes me. That's fine. And then I'm probably I'll go for 7 in power and the last 3 in change. So I think I'm going to go for a strategy of 2 and a knowledge of 6.
Nice. Very, very scholarly.
Charisma and inspiration, I'll have to go for 1 each.
Yep.
Change, I'm going to go for, I think, 1 in dexterity and 2 in intelligence. I know a lot, but I'm not very smart.
Street smart.
Yeah. I have learnt things, I'm not that quick at thinking. And for power, I think I will split that as evenly as I can. I'm going to go for 3 in strength and 4 in will. And yeah, and then as an Atar, I gave Atar a boost to power.
Cool.
Because
Plus 1
they
in
are
power.
kind of just a bit tough.
Physical.
So I'm going to push that up to 8 and give the extra 1 in my strength. So I now have 4 and 4 in
Cool.
strength and will.
Sweet.
Ali, sorry, is your character female?
Yes.
Grand. Lucy the same?
No, I was thinking he'd be male.
Cool.
And I'm female.
Grand. Do you
cool.
have names, you two?
I'm still thinking of my name. My race is feline, as in Phelyne, of course.
With a Z. Silent Z and a 9.
A Batman symbol.
Some wingdings.
Feline.
It's good though, I like it. It looks good on the page.
Actually, darling, could you make up an ATAR name for me since you...
Yeah, you wrote a language, didn't you?
Once upon a time, they had a big thing where I think singular things ended in ooar, as in ooar.
Cuckoo-ah was cuckoos, wasn't it?
Cuckoo-ah, yeah. It's quite guttural. If you can come up with something like T's and apostrophes, that'd be grand.
So like, yeah.
Oh.
I think T'Pol is taken.
That's from Star Trek, isn't it?
Or like Retour.
Ritua, okay, yep.
Yeah, so
cool.
R apostrophe T-U-A-R.
Yeah. I am Ritua.
That's a good name.
Ritua.
Ritua.
And I'll be really annoyed when you all pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, I'll call you Retty for
I'll
sure.
call you Artor.
Centaur.
Okay, well...
You need a name, Ali.
I do need a name. I'm trying to think of something punny to do with cats, but I think it should probably just be
Felixicia.
It's Felix.
You could take a real world name and just spin it slightly. Just twist it somehow.
Okay, can I just be mulling it over while we...
Yeah.
Okay.
John might want to know at some point then.
Okay, well, there were a couple... I'll need a bit more information of each of you in a moment, but first and foremost, I guess the thing we should say is that you are obviously all the crew of ship.
Cool.
We should say that there are a few other crew members, but for the purpose of this particular adventure, it won't be as
not gonna hear much.
important. So, first and foremost, however, you have to pick the name of your ship.
Oh, cool.
Now, so far, we've been using song titles.
We have.
In case anyone who has been reading Cuckoos hasn't worked out yet, a lot of them were Arcade Fire songs.
All but one so far.
Yeah, once we exhausted all the good ones, we moved on to
Was it
a
Elbow?
Woodkid.
Oh no,
Yes,
Woodkid,
Woodkid.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Conquest of Spaces, which I never actually named in the flipping script, so nobody knows that. So I thought, because it's my game, damn it, we would go for David Bowie songs.
Brilliant.
So
I thought you were
I-
going to call the ship David Bowie. Well, that's a bit on the nose, John.
So I've brought up, I have a few suggestions for you here.
Oh, we get to choose, do we?
I went through the entire David Bowie discography, and I looked for some things which sounded a bit like ships. Yeah, okay. So you can choose from The Lady Stardust,
Oh, that's good.
The Lady Grinning Soul, The Cracked Actor, The Future Legend, The Sound and Vision, The Black Star, The Son of a Silent Age, or The Next Day.
I like Lady Star.
Yeah.
I quite like Future Legend.
I was thinking Sound and Vision is quite
Sound and
suitable for a podcast.
Sound with vision crossed out.
Yeah.
Well, you both... those are some good ones there.
Yeah.
Black Star's good as well.
Shall I read them again?
Read them again, yeah.
Okay, The Lady Stardust, The Lady Grinning Soul, The Cracked Actor, The Future Legend, The Sound and Vision, The Black Star, The Son of the Silent Age, or The Next Day.
Oh, The Next Day is
Next
quite
Day.
good as well, because that's quite forward-looking and optimistic and...
What was the future one?
Future Legend.
The Future Legend.
I quite like that as well.
Well, that was my
Loads of good
first
ones.
choice, was
Yeah.
Future Legend.
I'm happy with the Future Legend.
Yeah?
It's
It
pretty
sounds
cool,
like we're
isn't
really
it?
full of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we're not great yet, but we're
We
gonna
will
be.
Sure
One
hope
day
we
you
don't
will
all
be
die.
singing songs about us.
I'm just happy when people talk about David Bowie.
Just crying in the corner over there.
Grand.
Should we go Future Legend then?
Future Legend.
So I'm going to say that you are the proud crew members of the Future Legend, which, for the purpose of familiarity, we're going to say is the exact same make and model as the Reflector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Partly because I've used that artwork in all the pictures. Oh, God.
Okay, and I'm also going to say that you are cuckoos to the wider world, as in you are just opportunists. You are looking for trade and business and adventure, whatever you can find.
Cool.
So
You don't have to like it, though.
you don't have to like it. No. So one thing I will say is there. I guess we should talk about roles on
Yes.
the ship. Like,
yeah.
what do we all want to do on the ship, as it were?
Okay, well, as a lamp user, I do feel like my greatest worth to the crew would probably be as muscle.
Okay, grand.
So if everyone else is happy with that,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take that role.
As a knowledgeable soul, but not necessarily a particularly smart soul, I feel like I maybe am the best fit for scientist.
Cool.
But I'm an action scientist, you know.
Action
I'm
scientist.
action scientist. I can go out and punch things if I absolutely have to.
Well, you have
but
the
I'm-
physicality for it.
Yeah, and I'm not actually very clever out in the world. Like, you know, I Don't make me talk to people.
No, I'll do the talking.
Yeah.
That's fine. When I'm not glowing.
Okay, Ali.
And I have a lot of change stats, dexterity, intelligence. I think that would lend itself well to the engineer. So I would like to be an engineer, please.
So we get boosts for some of these.
Yes.
Yes, so...
I want to allocate those.
So, I'm going to give everyone a card just to remind them what they are and what perk they get.
Brilliant.
So, as for muscle, Nick,
Yeah.
you are, of course, getting a +1 to any combat roll. I'm sure that will arrive, spoilers,
Yep.
in a situation.
I wonder.
And Lucy, that also gives them 1+ to strength or dexterity.
Yeah.
Strength or dexterity? Okay, I will add it to strength, I think. Okay.
Okay, so Nick, just I mean, that's innate. You have that anyway, but just wanted to
Cool,
remind you.
I appreciate it.
Scientist, of course, +1 to any science check.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's nice. That's nice. And a +1 to knowledge.
Yes. So yeah, I'm going to push my knowledge up to 7.
Whew,
Okay.
so clever.
I know all the books.
Sounds Lucy. And Ali, as I'm sure you've already read, you'll get a +1 to any mechanical check. Mm-hmm. And in certain circumstances, that can also extend to, I would say, electronics or clockwork or anything kind of machine-based, I would say.
Cool.
Pistons.
And +1 to intelligence.
That
Okay,
could be your, like, a custom swear word, but pistons.
grand.
Okay?
Okay, I'll remember.
can
I'll
have
write that on the card.
Best do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I've been thinking about was having an NPC on the ship itself. In fact, we're likely to have a couple.
Yes. Yeah. Can't really run a ship this size with 3 people.
But to keep it simpler, however, I'd really like the idea anyway of having like a tree spirit who lived on the boat, basically, who had actually grown into the ship, where the ships themselves have been made of infinite timber. I'm actually thinking maybe for simplicity's sake, I might merge that character with the role of captain. So in a perverse way, the captain of this ship physically cannot leave it.
Is it like Farscape?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah,
that's quite cool.
they are the ship. So you have
Is the tree present on the bridge?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And the tree itself looks kind of... There is a humanoid element to the tree, as in a face, so you can talk to it, but its roots have grown all through the structure of the tree.
Can you stick your hand in its mouth when it talks?
You're thinking
Does
of
it
the
have
mother
chests
care
inside?
Yeah, did anyone ever go to Mother Care and they had Timothy Tree?
Yeah.
And he always, I just used to push the button and jam my hand in his mouth.
So is
There
it
was
like
a big
Timothy
fence
Tree?
around the one in Cheltenham. Clearly that happened far too often.
I'd always wondered why we called you Ali Four Fingers.
Tree's alive.
Okay, so, Ali, do you have a name?
No. I was going to go with Katrina and shorten it to Cat, but I feel like that might be a bit on the nose.
You actually have a name generator on your D&D screen there, dear.
Do
if you
I
want
really?
to,
Well, let me see. See if I can find it. NPC name generator.
Hey.
Okay, I need to roll a d20. Which,
And knock everything off
and
the shelf.
throw some stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. La.
It's a good start. Larynx.
Net.
Lynette. Quite like it.
Yeah. Lanetia.
Lynettia.
Lanetia.
Or did you just want Lynette?
Lanette's
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah. I'll put a
Two T and an E.
double T-E on the end.
Yeah.
Lynette.
So we
And
have
then my
I've
last
heard of a
name
net back
is
from Melodia when I used to...
Lynette M.
These are such in-jokes. Like, there's going to be 4 people who get some of the things. Oh, you read every book Big Punch has ever made? Because that's the only way you're going to get something out there. That's a joke.
Okay, the last thing I will ask from each of you is, could I have all your stats, please? Using Lucy's grid as the basis, could you start from top?
Yeah.
Yeah, top row, left, right, bottom.
Left, right, left, right,
Quick
left, right.
question. Now that we've chosen our class or our job, the +1 I get for knowledge, does that add on to my
Yeah,
permanent stats?
We've added it all.
I haven't added
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So Nick, muscle,
It's intelligence, isn't it?
Ali, scientist,
Not knowledge.
Yes.
Lucy.
They're different things.
Nope, Lucy's the scientist.
Believe me, they are different things.
Oh yes. I
Okay.
chose the wrong one.
So Nick, starting on the top row,
So, starting with strength, essentially.
could I get your stats, please?
I'll say 2, then 1, then 5, then 3, then 3, then 1, then 5, then 3.
Grand. So you have a very high dexterity and charisma.
I do.
Grand. Lucy?
Okay, I'm 4 and 4. 1 and 2. 2 and 7. 1 and 1.
You're very clever.
I'm not, I just know lots.
Yeah, okay.
1 and 1. 5 and 7. 1 and 3. And 2 and 2.